Sometime this morning, you did something your ancestors never did in their entire lives. You stood under a pressurized stream of hot, clean water for several minutes. You rubbed yourself with a bar of synthesized chemicals designed to strip oils from your skin. You applied a paste to your teeth and scraped bacteria off them with a plastic bristle device. Then sprayed a compound containing aluminum salts directly onto your armpits to chemically block your sweat glands from functioning. You did all of this before leaving your house. You will probably do it again tomorrow. You have done it so consistently for so long that you no longer think of it as remarkable. It is just Tuesday morning. Now consider this. For 300,000 years, none of that existed. Not the water pressure, not the soap, not the toothpaste, not the deodorant. Nothing. And yet those 300,000 years produced every philosopher, every warrior, every mother, every hunter, every person who ever built something or loved someone or kept a tribe alive through a brutal winter. All of them unwashed by any standard you would currently recognize. All of them smelling, by your modern nose, absolutely catastrophic. So how did they live with each other? How did they attract mates, build social bonds, share sleeping spaces, and cooperate closely enough to survive when every single one of them smelled like something you would cross a street to avoid today? The answer is stranger, more fascinating, and more relevant to your daily life than you would ever expect. Before we talk about what ancient humans did about body odor, we need to talk about what body odor actually is, because most people have it exactly backwards. You do not smell because you sweat. Sweat itself, the liquid your body produces, is almost completely odorless. Fresh sweat is roughly 99% water with trace amounts of salt, proteins, and other compounds. If sweat smelled, you would notice it the moment you started exercising, not 20 minutes later. What you are actually smelling is bacteria. Your skin is covered in approximately 1.5 trillion bacteria at any given moment. These bacteria are not invaders. They are permanent residents, part of your microbiome, and they have been living on human skin for as long as humans have existed. When your sweat glands release their contents onto the skin surface, these bacteria consume the proteins and fatty acids in the sweat and produce waste products as a result. Those waste products are what you smell. The sharp acidic smell of armpits, the different more complex smell of feet, the particular staleness of unwashed hair, all of it is bacterial metabolic waste sitting on your skin. This means something important. Body odor is not dirt. It is not filth in the conventional sense. It is your own permanent microbial ecosystem doing exactly what it evolved to do. And for 300,000 years, that ecosystem ran completely unchecked, building up over days and weeks and months into something that, by modern standards, would be genuinely overwhelming. But here is the critical twist. If everyone around you smells the same way, your brain stops registering it as offensive. The human olfactory system is extraordinarily good at filtering out constant background smells and only flagging deviations. You stop smelling your own house within minutes of arriving home. You stop smelling your own perfume within an hour of applying it. An ancient human living in a group where everyone carried the same baseline odor would have experienced that odor the way you experience the smell of your own skin. Which is to say, not at all. The disgust was not absent in the ancient world. It was pointed at different things. Here is the part that surprises everyone. Ancient humans were not simply resigned to being dirty. They cared about cleanliness in ways that were sophisticated, practical, and sometimes remarkably effective. They just had a completely different toolkit. Smoke. This is the one that modern people consistently underestimate. Across virtually every hunter-gatherer culture ever studied, fire was the central organizing feature of daily life, and one of its major functions was passive deodorizing. Spending hours each day near an open fire means your clothing, your hair, and your skin are continuously being treated with smoke. Smoke has genuine antimicrobial properties. It penetrates fabric and hair, killing surface bacteria, and replacing biological odors with the woody, earthy smell of burning plant matter. Many cultures specifically used aromatic woods, cedar, juniper, sage, for this purpose. The line between cooking fire and incense was non-existent. Ancient humans didn't smell like unwashed bodies. They smelled like smoke, which to their noses, and to the noses of everyone around them, was simply the smell of safety, warmth, and home. Water and abrasion. Running water was used for cleaning wherever it was available. Rivers, streams, rain. Ancient humans swam, waded, and immersed themselves regularly, not with soap, But physical immersion in moving water removes a significant amount of surface bacteria and debris through mechanical action alone. Beyond water, many cultures used abrasive materials, fine sand, pumice stone, rough plant fibers, to scrub the skin. The Romans famously used a curved metal tool called a strigil to scrape oil, sweat, and debris directly off their skin before water was involved at all. The concept was not cleaning with soap, but physically removing the top layer of contaminated material. Plant-based cleaning agents. Many plants produce natural saponins, compounds that create a lather in water and have genuine cleansing properties. Soapwort, yucca root, and various other plants were used across cultures as primitive soaps. They were less effective than modern synthetic detergents, but they were not nothing. Crushed and worked into water, they could remove oils and odors from skin and hair with reasonable effectiveness. Indigenous communities across North America, Europe, and Asia all independently developed plant-based cleaning practices using locally available saponin-rich plants. Oral hygiene. The idea that ancient humans had no oral hygiene is completely wrong. Chewing sticks, small branches from specific tree species with antimicrobial properties, were in use at least 7,000 years ago and are still used in parts of Africa and the Middle East today. The miswak stick, made from the Salvador persica tree, has been scientifically tested and shown to be as effective as a modern toothbrush for plaque removal. Ancient Egyptians made toothpaste from a mixture of powdered ox hooves, burnt eggshells, pumice, and water. It was abrasive and slightly astringent, and it genuinely cleaned teeth. The Romans used crushed charcoal and powdered bark. None of these were Colgate. All of them were something. Perfume and masking agents. The oldest perfume ever discovered was found in Cyprus and dates to approximately 4,000 years ago. A complex mixture of anise, pine, coriander, bergamot, almond, and other aromatics distilled in olive oil. But the use of aromatic plant materials on the body is almost certainly far older. Rubbing the skin with fragrant herbs, flowers, and resins is documented in virtually every ancient culture with any written record. In ancient Egypt, both men and women applied scented fats and oils to their skin and hair as a daily practice. In ancient Mesopotamia, cedar oil was prized not just for its smell, but for its antimicrobial properties. These were not vanity products. They were functional tools for social presentation in a world where the alternative was raw biological odor. Here's the part of the story that should unsettle every modern human reading this. Here is something modern humans have almost entirely lost: the ability to read smell as meaningful information. Your ancient ancestors could. Body odor carries a remarkable amount of biological data. The specific compounds produced by your skin bacteria are influenced by your diet, your health status, your hormonal state, and, most remarkably, your immune system genetics. Multiple studies have demonstrated that humans can detect genetic compatibility through smell alone. Women consistently rate the body odor of men with different immune system profiles as more attractive than men with similar profiles. This is not a conscious preference. It is an ancient biological program designed to maximize immune diversity in offspring. Illness changes your smell. The specific bacterial communities on your skin shift when you are sick, producing different metabolic waste products. Ancient humans living in close proximity would have been exposed to each other's smell continuously, and would have been registering health information that modern humans, insulated by soap and deodorant and distance, have largely lost access to. Stress changes your smell. Fear produces different compounds in sweat than exertion does. And multiple studies have found that humans can detect stress odors and respond to them with elevated anxiety of their own. In a group of hunter-gatherers living in genuine daily danger, this may have functioned as a chemical alarm system. The smell of fear spreading threat awareness through the group faster than any verbal signal could. The modern hygiene revolution didn't just clean us up. It severed a communication channel that humans had been using for hundreds of thousands of years. Here's the part that should make you genuinely uncomfortable. The modern obsession with eliminating body odor entirely is, by any historical measure, extremely recent and extremely strange. Commercial deodorant did not exist until the 1880s. The first antiperspirant, a product designed not just to mask odor, but to actually block sweating, was patented in 1903. These products did not immediately become standard. They required decades of aggressive marketing campaigns, many of which explicitly manufactured social anxiety about body odor that had not previously existed in that form. A 1919 advertisement for a product called Odorono, one of the first commercial deodorants, famously told women that body odor was the secret reason men didn't want to marry them. It caused outrage, and it worked. Within a decade, the deodorant market had exploded. The disgust modern people feel about body odor is not an ancient biological response. It is, at least in part, a 20th century commercial construction. The baseline has been moved so dramatically that most modern humans now find their own natural smell offensive, a smell that every single one of their ancestors carried without question for 300,000 years. Your 1.5 trillion skin bacteria are not a hygiene failure. They are the original equipment. They were there before the soap, before the deodorant, before the aluminum salts and synthetic fragrances. They will be there long after every one of those products is gone. You just weren't supposed to notice them. That's all for today. Please donate or subscribe to fund the next video. You stop smelling your own house within minutes. The brain adapts. Everyone's baseline becomes invisible. For 300,000 years, that baseline was set by wood smoke, animal fat, unwashed bodies, and the earth itself. When your sweat lands on bacteria, the bacteria eat it. What comes out the other side is the smell. Different bacteria produce different smells. That is why your armpit smells different from your feet. The strigil was used in public bathhouses where Romans gathered daily. Cleaning was communal, social, not private. Some plants were used specifically for hair. Animal fats and plant oils were worked into hair to control it and keep insects out. The Egyptians shaved their heads entirely and wore wigs. The wig could be cleaned. The scalp could be oiled. A genuinely practical system. The smell data your nose collects is processed by the oldest part of your brain, the limbic system, the same region that handles emotion and memory. This is why smells trigger memories more powerfully than any other sense, and why your ancient ancestors trusted their noses the way we trust our eyes. A healthy person smelled a certain way. A sick person smelled different. A frightened person smelled different. Your nose told you everything. Modern soap doesn't just remove the smell, it removes the bacteria producing it. And with the bacteria goes the data they were transmitting. We are the first humans in history to live genuinely separated from our own biology in this way. Every one of your ancestors lived closer to their own biology than you will ever be, and they were fine with it. The bacteria on your skin right now are older than civilization, older than language, older than fire.